Hey, Casey. So, first I just asked about the status of Kevin Terry and
Yeah,
updates on
yeah.
Saturday.
So I haven't got the imaging yet. They think it might be a slight meniscus. Was meniscus? No, it was MCL. Yeah, slight a low grade MCL, and so probably a couple weeks. The injury's brutal in terms of painful, but it's one of those where the pain is worse than the actual damage in the knee. So we haven't got the imaging yet, but our doctors feel like it could be a 2.5 week or sort of thing. So well see.
What was your thought? Obviously, as a coach, you hate to see any injury. That
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was going through your mind when that
Well,
happened?
and this is, I mean, Kevin's that kind of guy who's, everyone just has a relationship with. Everyone's friends with him, and so to see him in pain like that, it can kind of put a damper. But as I told the team, it's like it's the world we live in. We got to compartmentalize that. They were all relieved afterwards when I told him that prognosis looks good, and that really meant a lot to them to hear that after the scrimmage. But I mean, it's never what you want. It's not ideal to have that early in the scrimmage because obviously those things kind of can linger in your mind a little bit.
How do you think Jacoby's responded?
Yeah,
he was
no.
kind of ascending and playing better. but
Yeah,
how did
he
handle the first
was
two
on the
games?
move up. It was one of those things where we anticipated we were going to probably play 3 tackles because of his progress, and so this is just giving him an opportunity now.
What was your sort of takeaway from, Giovanni had a great
Yeah.
finish on Saturday. What was your
Yeah.
takeaway from him and Evan?
It's such a great competition, and both these guys are pros. I mean, they compete, but they have a relationship. And I think we have 2 quarterbacks that can play in this league, and so it's going to be a process to figure out which one we're going to go with. But yeah, I've been really happy. I think they're both in the 70s in terms of completion rate, and they've done some really good things. Evan bounced back. He had that pick because of the tip ball and things, and he bounced back. But it's been kind of a back and forth. I think Evan had a little bit of a lead early in terms of just he knows the offense better. But it's really gotten. It's going to be a great competition. And again, we're in a great situation. We have 2 quarterbacks who can play in this league, and that's how we feel.
Do you feel like Giovanni's almost kind of, for whatever it's worth today, kind of pulled even with him? Evan had those 15 practices.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Tyler more about that. I haven't gotten really caught up too much with where's everybody at and those kind of things. It's a process. It's just going to work itself out. They got to keep on playing. We got to get them in more game situations. What you'll see from this point forward is more game situations. You're going to see us bring referees in more on a regular basis. And I know the defense really needs that badly. I think our quarterbacks need that too. More that game sort of tempo. We've been doing a lot of 2-rep, so everyone's getting a lot of reps. Our young guys are getting a lot of reps to get a chance to evaluate. It's tough physically because, boy, you're getting a lot of reps. When you count the number of reps at the end of the day, guys are getting a ton of reps. But also, it develops your young coaches, and you'd be surprised how important that is. Because again, like our offensive line coach isn't down with both groups; he's only can be with one group, and so the assistant O-line coach, one of our GAs is at the other end. So there's a purpose for all that. We're sort of moving out of that now and getting more good versus good team reps, situational things, guys on the sideline subbing in and out, and that's one of the reasons why you'll see more referees around here, probably like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
One thing I thought Saturday, the physicality stood out. There were 4 or 5 in-season hits.
Yeah,
that I saw.
this is a physical team. It's a physical team. I just question our sense of urgency, and sometimes, we just I don't think we come with understanding like it's gonna be a full 2 hours. Like we need to be locked in the entire time. I just see, and I told the fellas, I said I grew up in Lehigh Valley, and there was a great amusement park right down the road called Disney Park, Dorney Park, and I went on that roller coaster one time. I never went on again. I don't like roller coasters. I was a little bit of a roller coaster ride today. The highs and the lows. I know the offense is going against the defense, so when the offense does well, it doesn't look like the defense. And that's the nature of being the head coach because you're kind of going with both. But it's just too many times we're kind of on that roller coaster, and we got to start getting rid of those dips. So. It's not a talent issue. It's just, a consistency issue. We need to get more consistent. And again, we have a lot of guys, who are new to the program, so we're trying to fit all those guys, see where they fit in. But, today I thought there were some really good points, and I thought some things that, kind of we let go, and then we got back up again. So again, a little bit of a roller coaster today.
Who were the guys that you feel have been as consistent as possible.
Oh, it's. I tell you what, the O line is improving every single day. I think we're getting some good linebacker play too. You know, I mean, it's going to be tough to figure out between the 6 of those guys in there who really is stepping up. I mean, probably Eric Stewart maybe is moving. I know Caton done some really good things. I know Tyree has done some good things. I know Curley's done some good. I mean, so like every single one of our I mean, there's 6 linebackers that are really, pushing for that starting job. So I feel like the running back spot's pretty deep. I feel like the linebacker spot's pretty deep. Obviously, we feel good about our D-line. The quarterbacks are competing really well. I think there's some inconsistency at the wide receiver spot, but when those guys are playing well, they're playing well. Tight ends, we got 2 of our best tight ends down right now. We're going to get those guys back hopefully in a couple days. Secondary, it's a little bit of a roller coaster back there at times. The talent's there. It's just, I think we're trying to figure out who needs to be getting the most reps right now. So, yeah, I mean, it's camp. This is what we do in camp, is try to figure it out. But, I said today was flashbacks of Dorney Park and the roller coaster. So.
I feel like we're delinquent in asking this, but what's your kind of game plan now on single digits?
Oh yeah, no. So we actually have a presentation today about single digits, and they're going to know up front they're going to be hard to get, especially since we're coming off a situation where some of the guys felt it became a little bit of a popularity contest, and so there's a nominating process the players have, so they can nominate guys to be single digits, and then it goes through every department in the building, from the trainers to the equipment people to the strength staff to the academic people. In terms of like not adding names, but just saying, oh no, this guy doesn't show up for training room. We can't have him as a single digit. We'll pull him off. So the team will nominate guys, and then we'll go through a vetting process. And at the end of the day, the coaches are going to look at that final list and make it. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be, and I think that's what the guys who are the former single digits want. And it doesn't matter if you're a single digit in the past. We've kind of started fresh and clean. But that was something that was really a constant in my meeting with the team was I bet a good 50-60% of the players mentioned something about the single digit became a little bit of a distraction. And the thing is, I want them to know is that we can't make this a distraction. If you don't become a single digit, you think you should, that can't be a distraction, because there's not going to be a lot. I mean, it's going to be rarefied air. It's going to be those guys who, from community service to in the training room every day, to the weight room, to academics, to what kind of player they are in terms of, attacking it and leading and being the toughest guy in the field. We want tough guys to be, part of that single digit. So there's a whole presentation we'll do today with the guys so they understand what it means.
Will there be a situation where, like, let's say you only have like 4 guys to start the season?
Yep.
Can another guy, like a couple weeks into the season, earn it?
Well, it's an interesting question. Are you sitting in my meetings, or what's going on here? Huh?
No, can't say.
No. So our advisory board asked that because they know how difficult this is going to be. And like, coach, is there an opportunity during the season if a guy who was borderline getting it and just keeps on doing all the right things, can he get it? And he said, yeah, I think that's something we should talk to the staff about. So I'll take that back to the staff. My next leadership council will kind of iron all that out. But yeah, I give those guys that opportunity. It's like, okay, like, what do you guys want to talk about? Yeah, the single digit's really important right here. We get how tough it's going to be. But if there's guys who have been borderline guys, and then we're 4 or 5 games in, and it looks like, hey, this guy is leading us. This guy is doing all the things a single digit. He just needed more opportunity. Yeah, I think that's very reasonable to think that.
I wanted to ask about just a couple of guys on defense. Cam Jones is a young guy who is out there,
super talented
on the 1-2 side. And like, you're testing him, see what he can.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you look at the defensive line, there's a lot of options there, and that's great because that's the position that you need to rotate guys in, especially early in the season. So you'll see us play like 9 defensive linemen. I mean, I think there's a pretty good group there to pick from. And then I think, with our versatility, we can play some 3-man line and some 4-man line. And so I think, and we're not trying to fit bodies in there that don't fit that skill set. We actually have defensive ends that should be defensive ends, and defensive tackles should be defensive tackles, and those jack positions that we have some jacks also. So yeah, I think there's a lot of versatility what we have on defense. I just think right now one of the keys is going to be trying to figure out who do we want to be, and kind of narrowing down a little bit, because right now we have a lot in, and we have to narrow some things down.
And was that Jameer Jones, the new safety that I
Yep.
saw out there? Was it the first day?
Yeah, so he's in a window of like 45 days as we have an appeal in that that he can practice and do those kind of things. So super talented. We recruited him early. The waiver for Division II came in late. Got that waiver. Now we're presenting a Division I waiver for eligibility purposes. So again, we're going to try getting him some snaps and getting him to move around. But you know, we have to get complete okay before we throw him in head first.
So that he can practice now, but it might
Yep.
be.
Yeah, there's like a 45-day window we have right now that he can practice until we figure out. So we're hoping the next week or two.
Okay.
You know, we've presented all the paperwork. It's a matter of now getting a decision from the NCAA.
Do you how soon? Maybe a week away or more or less when you introduce UMass to these guys?
Yeah, so yeah, I'd say about 7 days. Yeah, so we're in that. Probably this next scrimmage is going to be, we're just going to go at each other, and then from there we're going to start, putting segments in that we're starting to introduce that. So yeah, I think a lot of it right now has been just about us getting better, So, but we will get to UMass, I'd say, sometime after the scrimmage.
Yeah, coaches, I guess, did their homework in the summer or even in the spring. On
And
that?
again, so what your recruiting department does this time of year is they're getting all the information on, all the teams that you're playing, and they're just, newspaper articles, chat rooms, whatever is out there. We're trying to gather as much information as possible. So, we both don't know a lot about each other because, both have new staff. So, it's always a challenge. All right. Thanks, guys.